Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Kapitol Cory Online Brass Band Championships. This is the first time we've done a Saturday afternoon session. We've had so many bands this year, so we hope to be welcoming many of you to our sessions this afternoon. We'll be listening to the third section bands. We've got 11 of them, with the section sponsored by the Thurrock Marching Brass, our friends in that band. And then later on this evening from 6 o'clock, we'll be having the first part of our championship section. So we have wall-to-wall brass bands for you between now and about 9 o'clock this evening. So I hope you're in for the long haul. And we are very much looking forward to hearing so many virtual brass band performances here today. Now, of course, you will know that we've put a regional spin on these competitions, taking the place as they tend to be for the regional championships, which were unfortunately cancelled this year. And to that end, we have our regional leaderboard, which I will show you. Now, we haven't updated this since the fantastic youth contest, which we had last night. So this is prior to the youth results. This is the leaderboard after week 2. Let's have a quick look. So we can see that the rest of the world region is leading the field. All of the 10 regions have approximately the same number of bands in them over the course of all the sections. So it won't be until all of the sections are done that we'll really know which is the champion region of the world. But for now, the rest of the world are leading the field with a strong contention from Yorkshire in second place. And our European bands are doing well. They're in third place. North and Northwest was the leader after week 1, but they find themselves down 6 places in 7th place, which just goes to show you how quickly things can change on the leaderboard. We will be doing one final update on the regional leaderboard, which we will share with you at the beginning of tomorrow evening's contest, which is the last of the contests in this series. And then, of course, after the contest is finished and later on that evening, we will show you the final regional leaderboard. So it's all getting very exciting and very tight at the top, all to play for. As I said, we're here this afternoon to listen to 11 third section bands. And of course, we've got 3 splendid judges to be making the decisions about all of these bands we have this afternoon. So let me introduce the judges to you right now. First of all, on my left, we have Helen Williams, Cory Band's flugelhorn player. Hello again, Helen.
Good afternoon. I'm really excited to be listening to some more bands today. Looking forward to good playing and being inspired by all these brilliant video productions that we've seen.
Now, you already adjudicated one section in this series, haven't you? Which section was that?
That was the first section last Saturday evening, yes.
What a contest that was.
It was a tough contest to adjudicate.
Yeah, lots of tough decisions to be made, and I guess it'll be the same for you again today.
I would have thought so.
Sitting immediately to my right, we have Sean Rhys-Jones, Cory Band's euphonium player, appearing for the first time as an adjudicator in this event. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you very much, Phil. Nice to be here on this side of the screen.
Because you were actually involved in the 4th section, but as the conductor, your band is the Cross Keys Silver Band, of course, isn't it? How was the competition to be involved with from that side of things as a competitor?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it gives the bands a real opportunity to put on a performance, which is quite rare in these current climates, of course. But no, it was great to work on 3 pieces of music and have it broadcast to the world from Cory. And yeah, looking forward to being in the hot seat adjudicating this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. Just change of role for you. And I know you kind of were involved in a lot of the production for Cross Keys performance, weren't you? But how was it for the individual players, do you think, playing in their own... Were they playing in their own homes?
No, we were quite lucky with Cross Keys. We managed just before the lockdown hit in Wales to record all the audio in the band room using, well, this microphone right here. And then I put it all together in terms of audio. And then our solo horn player, Catherine Showell, put together the video. So it was really interesting to see the band getting quite nervous sort of recording on their own in the band room with the microphone in front of them. But very happy with the product we finally came through with.
And of course, Sean is waiting, like all of the other bands, nervously for the results, which we will be announcing tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock after the top section has finished. And completing the triumvirate of judges this afternoon, we have Steve Jones, Cory Band's percussionist. Welcome back, Steve.
Afternoon, Phil.
Now, this is your second appearance as well, isn't it? What section did you do before?
I did section 2.
The second section, yeah. And how did you find that in terms of making your decisions?
It was really tricky, and I remember at the end I had a list of bands at the top, I had a list of bands in the middle, and a list of bands at the bottom. But splitting the top bands was very, very tricky for me, and it was on a knife edge between a few of the bands at the very top. I got there eventually.
Well, there we are. So, you're the people with the important decisions today. And I should remind our viewers, the judges have been asked to use 3 criteria when ranking their bands. Quality of performance is obviously very important, but also content of programme as well, which pieces they've chosen. And, of course, crucial to this kind of video performance, which we're involved with here, the presentation is also a big part of the judges' deliberations. Each of the judges will be coming to their own independent decisions as to the rankings of the bands. No consultation on that. We'll be then combining all the rankings, and the band with the lowest number of points will be adjudged the winner. That's how it's going to work. Right, I think then, without further ado, let's get on with the contest. Like I say, we've got 11 bands on the starting blocks ready to go. The draw has been done, and first out of the bag was the Langholm Town Band from Scotland with their musical director Chris Shanks. Now, Langholm Town Band are from a small town in Dumfries and Galloway, close to the Scottish border, and are the oldest continuous brass band in Scotland, established sometime before, wait for it, 1815. Wow, 6:15. Incredible. The band has existed in some form since that date and is at least 206 years old. That's some achievement. We are a community band who enjoy a mix of engagements and contests throughout the year, with players on screen ranging from 16 to 81 years old. We last played together at the Scottish Championships in March 2020 when we qualified for the National Brass Band Finals, which we are looking forward to our trip to Cheltenham in September. Please enjoy our entertainment programme, starting with an 80s classic from Madness, Baggy Trousers. The regional piece is in the style of a Scottish air, Lady Stuart's air. And the finale, They Shall Come From the East, which gives one of the most well-known Gowans and Larson songs from their Salvation Army musical, The Blood of the Lamb, an African treatment. Here we are then with band number 1 in the third section. It's the Langholm Town Band.
Good stuff.
Fabulous stuff. Number one band there, Langholm Town Band in the Thurrock Marching Brass third section. What a great start to the contest. Let's go straight to the judges and get some immediate response to Langham's entry. Helen, what did you make of Langham?
I really enjoyed that. There was some really, really good playing going on all the way through it. A shout out to whoever's produced all the video for it, because that was really good as well.
Fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good tech and audio production. I thought there was good balance on the whole through everything. I think in the middle piece, the Lady Stuart's Air, I would have liked to have heard a little bit more of the middle of the band, if possible. I could hear the cornets definitely, and I thought Nicole's contribution as the featured soloist was lovely. Quite a lot of basses as well I could hear, but yeah, just that middle bit of the band where I sit in the band, I would have liked a little bit more of that. The last piece I thought was the best thing that they did. It was a really lovely laid back feel all the way through everything. The percussion was great. I'm sure Weenie will talk about that. Some really good technique on show. Christine did a brilliant job with the flugel solo in that. And again, really good visuals. I've got one gripe though. I've been to Langham. I know it's a beautiful place. I would have liked to have seen some of Langham included in that video.
Well, there we are. So speaks the voice of experience. Yeah, I've never been to Langham, so I can't comment. I don't know whether it's a sort of a wasteland with nothing there, or whether there's some beautiful scenery. I'm sure you're correct, Helen. I'm absolutely certain you're correct. So there we are. There's some comments from Helen Williams, the first judge. Let's go to Sean. What did you think of Langham's performance, Sean?
Yeah, I'd echo what Helen said. I'd really enjoyed the performance. I thought the tuning particularly was really good. A little bit weighing sometimes in Lady Stuart Air, but only fractionally. Really small things there. I thought the presentation was really clean as well. Relatively basic in what they did showing on the screen, but it was all really clean, well cut together, so no real complaints there again.
Simple but effective.
Exactly, yeah, simple but effective. I thought the ensemble was really tight throughout as well. Just in that last piece, some of the semi-quaver passages not 100% linking up, but again, they're really small things. I've written quite a few times overall. Good, great, fantastic. And there's just little things, but I mean, yeah, overall really impressed. I thought Nicole and Christine both, in Lady Stuart Air and in They Shall Come From the East, were both fantastic soloists, well featured.
Great, excellent. And there's, let's go to Steve. There's a lot to say about percussion in that, isn't there? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, well, it didn't detract. It didn't get in the way of any of the band playing at all, I thought. And it enhanced the band sound, I thought, more than anything, really. Baggy Trousers was a great... good, fun start to open, I thought. Really, really good. Love the trilbies and the shades. And again, as Sean alluded to, the really good production quality as well. Nice chucks I've written here. Nice chucks. And a solid bass end. And Lady Stuart's Air, was it Nicole? Yeah, lovely. Really nicely played that. Good atmospheric opening. And really nice bass sound, rich band sound as well. Would have liked a bit more singing of the solo line, I think. But apart from that, very, very well played. And the last piece, I think, I agree with Helen, it was fantastic to hear, because I haven't never heard that piece at all. and it just settled into a really nice groove. And yeah, percussion was good. Try not to overdo the kit fills, particularly the slower piece. So don't try and overdo it. Just chill. But very good overall.
Chill, man. I'm intrigued to hear you say you've never heard that piece before. You must have been with Cory too long, because we have played that in concert a few times.
So we played so much. My brain can only take so much.
They shall come in one ear and out the other ear. There we are. Yeah. Great. Some real positive comments there, and deservedly so, from our first band in the contest this afternoon. Thank you so much for your entry to the Langholm Town Band from Scotland, who are our band number 1 there. Let's move swiftly to band number 2, and we're going to go straight into the Southern Hemisphere, right across the other side of the world, for the Cardiff North Lakes Brass Band from New South Wales in Australia, with their musical director Bruce Rowlatt. The Cardiff North Lakes Brass Band is a senior C-grade community band formed in 1973. The band rehearses at Cardiff, a suburb of the city of Lake Macquarie, New South Wales in Australia. Their first item is Waltzing Matilda, Australia's best-known bush ballad. It's been described as the country's unofficial national anthem. The title is Australian slang for travelling on foot, waltzing, in outback Australia with one's belongings in a Matilda, which is swag, slung over one's back. The song narrates the story of an itinerant worker or swagman, and the original lyrics were written in 1895 by Australian poet Banjo Patterson and first published as sheet music in 1903. Second piece is the Post-Horn Gallop. Post-horn was used during the 18th and 19th centuries to signal the arrival or departure of a post rider or mail coach. A post-horn gallop was composed in 1844 to feature the post-horn with orchestral accompaniment, and principal cornet Bruce Fletcher will play the post-horn in this item. The band will then finish with Ray Woodfield's arrangement of George Gershwin's classic Strike Up the Band. Here we go then with band number 2, the Cardiff North Lakes Brass Band from Australia.
Well, good evening to you lovely people over there at Cory in Wales. I'd like to introduce the Cardiff North Lakes Brass Band. We operate out of the Lake Macquarie region in New South Wales, Australia. And last time we said a recording, I think you're all a bit surprised that there was someone in Australia called Bruce. Well, my name's Bruce Rowlatt, and I'll ask the band, everyone who's called Bruce, to stand up, please. So there you go. It's not just a Monty Python skit.
Welcome back to the Kapitol Cory Online Brass Band Championships. You are listening to the Thurrock Marching Brass third section. And Struth, we just heard the band number 2, Cardiff North Lakes Brass Band, all the way from Australia. All those Bruces we saw there, unbelievable. Well, as you can see from your screens, we've got two Jones and a Williams with us here. So definitely representing our Welsh side of things. Let's go to the Williams first of all. In fact, I'll be a bit more familiar than that. Let's go to Helen Williams. What did you think of Cardiff North Lakes Brass Band, Helen?
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing a band sitting all in the same room. I'm sure they were thoroughly enjoying being able to play all together and making music. I can't wait to do that. That is something I'm very much looking forward to doing. And they were sitting quite close as well. These are the things that we notice these days, aren't they?
Yeah.
People sitting close to each other. It seems very strange to us over here in the UK. Waltzing Matilda, what's not to like about some Gordon Langford? And of course, an Australian band's got to play Waltzing Matilda, haven't you? I thought it was really stylish. The ensemble was generally good through it. Just be careful of some of the note endings. Not everybody was finishing notes all at the same time. And perhaps a little bit more dynamic contrast in that would have made it even better. The post-horn gallop for me was a bit of a steady gallop. Maybe not quite a gallop. Good soloist, but you missed a trick. You should have been at the front. You should have been showing off to us. I thought your attempt at the double tonguing got better as it went on, as you settled into it. But again, I would have liked to have seen you at the front and just making a little bit more of it. Strike Up the Band is just a fun piece to end with, isn't it? That sort of ticked lots of boxes and featured the percussion as well. So, yeah, very enjoyable.
Yes, and I should remind viewers that the condition of entry to the competition is that just whenever you make your video, you are complying with your local or national regulations, which is why a band in Australia is able to meet and be, as Helen said, so close to each other. Steve, I mean, you have to use the same criteria as a judge there. So you're thinking of quality performance programme and presentation as well. Now, obviously, can you address each of those, or what did you think of those?
Yeah, it was a good start with Waltzing Matilda, and I like the comedic start as well. That endeared me to the band straight away, which was really good. It was good tempo, and generally it was well balanced. But I would, as Hadin said, I've also made the note of would have liked to have a bit of more dynamic contrast in that opening piece, really. But it was a good start, and then post horn gallop. This reminds me of an old cassette I used to have by Morris Motors Band as a kid, conducted by Harry Mortimer. There we go, I got my geek hat on now. I
saw a few people in the YouTube chat actually saying how they hadn't heard Post Horn Gallop for many, many years.
No, absolutely right. I haven't heard it for years either. But yeah, again, I would like to have seen the soloist at the front. I'm sure the ears of the back row cornets there were nicely deafened. But it was a good effort with that. And Strike at the Band, I haven't heard that one for quite a while. Not that arrangement anyway for quite a while. Anyway, it's a good old pop boiler. And I think I probably would have liked something a little bit more up to date in the programme as well, just to mix it up a little bit as well. But nevertheless, it was like watching the concert. So it was, as Helen said, it was nice to see you all sat as a band and enjoying yourself. I was very jealous.
And presentation, because of course, the distance bands can have different people on videos on screen, and dress up and bring people different colours and different formations and what have you. But this band didn't have any of that, did it?
Yeah, I think you probably missed a trick there actually, because obviously you're at a disadvantage if you, particularly with online productions, if you're sat naturally as a band. It would have been nice to add a few effects into the video as well, maybe, and just break it up that way as well, just to make it interesting to watch as well as listen to as well. But I think what you lacked in that department, you made up for the Bruce joke.
You can't beat a good Bruce joke, can you? Thank you very much indeed, and friendly greetings all the way across the world from South Wales to New South Wales and the Cardiff North. Let's get this right. The Cardiff North Lakes Brass Band, fantastic. I hope we toured Australia in 2013, and I hope we can go back one day soon. Great to hear from you, and thank you once again for entering our online competition. Let's move now to band number 3, and this is the Gillingham Imperial Silver Band from the southwest in the UK with their musical director Jim Bennett. Now, Gillingham Imperial Silver Band invites you to join us on a fun-packed day trip around the West Country. Assuming you made it in time for the early hours departure, we'll start with a fossil hunt on the glorious Jurassic coast before boarding the train to head west to Cornwall. Having taken in the beautiful scenery and experienced the bustling fishing villages that are synonymous with this part of the world, we will once again hit the track, refreshments at the ready, and head to our final stop where our 3 buglers will have no time to holiday. Hope you can join us next time when, fingers crossed, we can do it for real again. This is band number 3, Gillingham Imperial Silver Band. Welcome back to the Kapitol Cory Online Brass Band Championships. You are listening to the third section, which is sponsored by Thurrock Marching Brass. And we have just heard band number 3 there, the Gillingham Imperial Silver Band, which took us on a tour around the West Country, literally. Sean, what did you make of our band number 3 this afternoon?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. They told a story. Actually went on holiday to the Jurassic Coast a few years ago, so it was nice to sort of see some old imagery there. I thought the presentation in general was absolutely superb. Lots of lovely images of Cornwall and moving to other parts as well. Tuning, I thought, was pretty good overall. Little moments here and there that could detract, but as I say, overall, very well done. The soloists, Liam and Stuart in Calling Cornwall, I really enjoyed what you did. I think you just could have used a bit more rubato. It can be quite difficult on these distance videos, of course, especially if you're playing to a click track or just to another track. But maybe if you sort of had a quick call just before you recorded it, just to sort of say what you were going to do. And then in Calling Cornwall, because I know we've played this with band, I do feel sorry for the Euphonium player with his runs because it's in a difficult key. I remember when we first got it out, I was nowhere near it. So I had to really practice it. The only bit of advice with that is to really slow it down bar by bar and just really look at it. And then we came on to Bugler's Holiday. Quite a nice steady tempo. I've heard it played slower. I've heard it played faster. But steady tempo and dealt with it really well, I have to say. I thought it was steady but good. Really enjoyed the performance overall.
Excellent. Oh, excellent positive comments from you there, Sean. Let's go to Steve. Did you enjoy your trip on the train?
I did indeed. Yeah, I did. It was a really good inventive way of piecing the programme together, I thought.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. And it was good to see a band from my old banding region as well, the old west of England. So Jurassic Park, good horn to open, I thought. Just watch the tuning when the rest of the band comes in. And it was a good little whistle link into Thomas Tank Engine. And Thomas, that was an arrangement by my good friend Clive Lewis, I've ever mentioned to. I haven't played that for many years, so it was nice to hear a little snippet of that. And of course, straight to Calling Cornwall. Can't beat a bit of Gough Richards, can you? It was nice to see, as Sean said, it was nice to see the beautiful county of Cornwall in all its glory. Very nice indeed. I'm jealous. I want to go there as soon as possible. And it was a nice transition into the fast section of that piece, I thought. Good cornets on the quavers. I can hear that chugging along nicely. See what I did there. And tidy percussion. I would like to have heard more middle of the band in that piece, because I found it a little bit cornet heavy in places. And again, in the transition with Ticket to Ride, make sure that the percussion and the band don't get out, so just be aware that it's got to be tight. But I do like those links, very clever, really good. And Bugler's Holiday, a good attempt. I thought it was a sensible tempo for your limitations, very good indeed. In fact, in that piece, I'd like to have, and this is a little mention for the kit player here, even though there's bars rests in that piece, I'd keep it going, just keep playing, because it does sound a bit odd when it starts and stops, even though that's written. But keep it going, it helps keep the band moving as well. So, but yeah, very good indeed. Enjoyed it.
Excellent. There we go. A tip from the top for the drum kit player there. Yes, and I think we're in agreement here. Very creative production there. Great idea of the tour around the southwest. And like you mentioned there, Winnie, those little link pieces, just tiny little short bits of music. They really worked well, didn't they? Yeah. Excellent. A great package from you, the Gillingham Imperial Silver Band. Thank you so much for your support of our contest. Everyone's enjoyed watching your video. Let's move on to band number 4. This is the Whitworth, Vale and Heeley Band from the northwest of England. We ask for all bands to submit the name of their musical director, to which this band's answer was, well, it was more of a collective approach to this project. There we are. The Whitworth, Vale and Heeley Band is proud of its long history going back to 1853. The programme reflects this and the local area of Rochdale. The opening piece is their very own march, Whitworth Vale, written for them by J.H. White. A well-known conductor, composer and adjudicator, Mr. White conducted the band in the 1920s and 30s, which is when he penned this march. The second piece features the band's principal cornet, David Tattersall. Dave has played with the band since the age of 11, which is some 45 plus years ago, although he would claim it's only 25. Dave puts his cornet down for this piece and entertains with, would you believe this, the post-horn gallop. The band's third piece keeps the traditional programme going with a hymn tune, Andy Cook's arrangement of Manchester. The video includes panoramic of Whitworth looking towards Manchester. Andy Cook also provides the arrangement of the finale, the traditional Rochdale Coconut Dance, a tune used by local Lancashire coconutter dance troupes, which was arranged for our friends over at Milnrow Band to celebrate their 150th anniversary last year. Of course, that makes them youngsters compared to Whitworth Vale and Healy. Special thanks go to Chris Binns for his programme selection and to our young percussionist Sam Milton, who has created this video presentation. Here we are then with the Whitworth Vale and Healy Band.
Hi, I'm Mike Lovett. I'm a freelance trumpet player.
It's a great chance for the trainees to come and listen to Mike's experiences and help on how to improve on the trumpet.
It wasn't as nerve-wracking as I thought it would be. He was really chilled out and it was quite an informal day.
Hopefully when they're in their respective bands, they'll be able to play better and to a higher standard.
I want to know who I am, so I can let go. Let it all out. I want you to feel what I feel, so you can hear my soul sing. I want you to hear my story, so you can pass it on. I want to make waves.
Welcome back to the Kapitol Cory Online Brass Band Championships, and we have just heard the Whitworth, Vale and Healy Band, band number 4 in the third section. Let's go straight to the judges for instantaneous feedback. Steve Jones, what did you think of band number 4?
Yes, enjoyable. It was a good start with Whitworth Vale. Lovely cornet sound, really nice style. Love that, really nice to hear. And nice to see some twins on percussion. Or was it just one person doubled? I don't know.
You can't tell in this format, can you?
No. But yeah, I think just my only criticism was just make sure that if you're playing, especially with the online content, just make sure you're playing bob onto that click so that the finished product is absolutely scintillating in sound and right on the button. With Post-Horn Gallop, another Post-Horn Gallop.
Would you believe it? I mean, you don't hear it for years and years, and then two come along at once.
I know, like London buses. But yeah, great soloist again. I love. Someone's got a sense of humour, haven't they? The fact that he was coming in at all angles, that was just brilliant. It was not quite together in the band at times, but well done. I enjoyed it. Really good. Hymn tune. It was a lovely atmospheric opening, and I like the visuals at play there.
Sort of time-lapse photography.
Yeah, I love that sort of stuff. Yeah, really good. I think I'd like to have had the youth lifted out more. I couldn't hear much of the melody, so and that's for me where I think the final two items, balance-wise, went a bit awry. It wasn't quite gelling. I'm not sure what it was, whether it was the recordings. What was it? It wasn't quite gelling enough for me. And that's it, really. Apart from that, it was very good. And the coconut dance, a nice little round off to finish the programme. Yeah.
Absolutely. Helen, you just in that ad break there, we were talking about the sound of that band. What were your thoughts on it, and particularly what Weenie was just talking about? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, the first couple of pieces, I thought the sound was really, really good. I particularly liked the march. It made me a little bit homesick for our home in Delft and Whit Friday March contests and stuff like that. I thought that was great, excellent solo cornet, proper old-fashioned sound, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way, ageism and all that sort of thing. It was right. It was really my cup of tea, that kind of sound. Post-Horn Gallop, excellent soloist again. As with Weenie, the visuals made me laugh out loud. Not quite sure about them, but they did make me laugh.
And there was one thing you and I have both been missing on both performances of the Post-Horn Gallop, which was...
I was just about to say, where were the dogs barking? Every time I've been a part of a performance of the Post-Horn Gallop, there have always been dogs barking at some point during it, and I'm missing that. Perhaps somebody else can fit that in somewhere if we do anything like this in the future.
Maybe the next band would also play Post-Horn Gallop, who knows?
And then to the sound again, in the hymn tune, the balance I didn't think really, really worked. Perhaps there was too much reverb on it and the band sort of got lost within its own sound at times, so that didn't sort of happen for me. As far as a coconut dance, I used to live in Delft, which is over the hill from Rochdale. I've never seen any coconuts in Rochdale, ever.
It's not a local produce? Made with pride in Rochdale.
I've obviously been, if I've been to Rochdale, I've been driving around with my eyes closed.
They did. I don't know if you saw on one of the screens. They had some men dancing, which I assume was the coconut dance.
It must be. I know there are some, shall we say, some very strange and quirky traditions around those parts. They do that sort of thing in Saddleworth as well, but I've never heard mention of the coconuts. Well,
there we are. Now we know. Now we all know. Thank you very much indeed, Helen. So there we are. There are the immediate comments from the judges for Whitworth, Vale and Healy Band, our band number 4. Thank you and congratulations on your video performance. Thank you for supporting our online competition. Let's move now to band number 5, and we are going back to our rest of the world region. Remember, the region that leads the leaderboard just at the moment. We're going to the island of Jeju in South Korea for Brillante Brass, band number 5, and their musical director, Dong Won Kim. Now, they are just going to play one single piece in their programme. A piece which is very familiar to us all, Fire in the Blood by Paul Lovett Cooper. Now, this was commissioned by Stephen Cobb for the 120th anniversary of the International Staff Band of the Salvation Army. It was composed for the celebration concert where the ISB was joined by several other staff bands from around the world to perform independently to a sellout capacity crowd at Britain's most famous concert hall, the Royal Albert Hall. A Fire in the Blood received its world premiere at the ISB 120 concert on the 4th of June 2011. And so 10 years later, we are now going to hear a performance of it, which constitutes the programme of band number 5, Brillante Brass. Welcome back to the Kapitol Cory Online Brass Band Championships. You are listening to the third section, which is sponsored by Thurrock Marching Brass. And we've just heard band number 5. I mean, fantastic to see the Brillante Brass entering our competition again, all the way from Jeju Island in South Korea. Let's ask Helen Williams, first of all, what did you think of our Korean friends?
Wow, a live performance with real applause at the end of it. That's what I'm waiting for as well. I thought that was brilliant. And I have to say, before I say anything else, the principal cornet player should have a medal, because I didn't see a single shot during the whole thing where he didn't have his cornet on his face. All the tutties, all the solos, absolutely everything. So, yeah, you deserve a medal. French horns in the mix as well. That gave a completely different sound to the whole thing for me. Just that orchestral touch, which was so different. I didn't think I could hear the basses so much, and I'm pretty sure I could only see a couple of basses, and it may be something to do with the miking of that. I don't know if the mic that I could see on the screen was the mic that was used for the audio, and it was quite a boomy acoustic, so I was getting an awful lot of cornets, and not so much of the bass line, euphoniums and barries as well. I would have liked to have heard a bit more of as it went on. I thought it was a nice touch when the soloist stood to the front. Definitely hear my hero, the principal cornet player. Euphonium I couldn't hear so much because I think just the cornets were a bit too loud in the mix in general, whether it was the acoustic or whatever. But that was a live performance. That was something that was just there for you, and the balance had to be addressed as it was being performed. Completely different to how some of the other performances we've seen have been put together, mixed and sorted out sort of after the fact, if you like. So it's something really different for us to comprehend as adjudicators.
Yeah, you make a good point about, we could see the microphone at the front of the stage there, couldn't we? So if you're going for that authentic sound, then obviously you'd need more microphones in more of a studio setup. So I wonder what they did. But yeah, so how are you going to tackle that issue then of comparing apples with pears?
It's just really difficult, isn't it? I'm not even sure at the moment.
Okay.
I'm still working through that one.
Fine, yeah. You don't have to reveal your inner secrets just yet. Sean, what did you think of Brillante Brass? They just played one piece, which was an unusual approach.
Yeah, absolutely. Slightly unusual, but I mean, a good piece to choose in that sense.
Absolutely.
I mean, it had very varying sections of it, of course. I thought they got off to a great start. I was very happy with how the band started there. I think the middle of the band, where, as Helen said, the French horns, it took me by surprise. It took me a second. I was thinking, those horns don't sound like normal horns for us in brass banding terms, but I quite enjoyed it as well, that slight orchestral touch. And I think they did really well, considering playing a tenor horn part on a French horn like that. Can't have been that easy. In the first sort of movement of the piece, I thought the euphonium did a really good job. The only thing I would say, and it leached into when he was doing his stand-up solo in the second movement, almost trying to over-project. Obviously, when you're stood up in front of a band, you've got to project your sound. That's a given. But sometimes just going that bit too far can really affect the tuning. And I felt it did do that at times, but overall, very good. I thought the cornet player was superb, absolutely brilliant, and was very happy with that. A little thing for me personally, closing of the eyes at the front of the stage. I'm not a huge fan of it. Everyone's different, of course. I like to sort of look who I'm playing at, but a little thing. And as Helen says, great to see a full band on stage. It was just like being a regular brass band contest, except we're watching it through a screen, obviously, but it was absolutely great to see. Little tired right at the end, the last 30 seconds, I think. A couple of the octave jumps, not quite speaking 100%, but to be expected when you've been playing non-stop for 10 minutes. So, yeah, great stuff. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. And I concur with Sean and Helen. Nice to see a live performance and to hear a gathered group of audiences applause afterwards as well. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen that. So, well, greetings to you all in South Korea there. Thank you once again for supporting our contest and congratulations on your latest performance. We've all enjoyed it very much. We're going to move on to band number 6 now, and after this band, then we'll be having a short comfort break for the judges. We'll be having 15 minutes of rest. But before then, of course, we have the last band in this first half of the third section contest, and this is the Island Colliery Chesterfield Brass Band. They are from the Midlands area of England, and their musical director is Lyndon Bolt. Now, Chesterfield is steeped in history. There's strong evidence of Iron Age fortifications in Chesterfield, and we know that Queen Cartimandua of the Brigante tribe was ruling the district when the Romans arrived. Island Colliery Chesterfield Brass Band are going to play 3 pieces to take us on a short tour of the local area and give us a few reasons to visit Chesterfield, including, of course, the band itself. The presentation will give a brief history of Chesterfield and its people, feature one of the main products of the town, and then show us some of its beautiful scenery, all with a little help from the band. All 3 pieces were recorded in February and are the band's first attempt at distance playing, having not had band rehearsals since the first lockdown started. Well, best of luck to you. Let's sit back and enjoy the performance of band number 6, the Island Colliery Chesterfield Brass Band.
If someone was to ask you what you knew about Chesterfield, you might think about the church with the crooked spire. There's a lot more to discover, and Island Colliery Chesterfield Brass Band would like to use this opportunity to take you on a musical journey and introduce you to some interesting facts and information about our hometown. We're going to play 3 pieces today, starting with Fanfare for a New Age by Goff Richards. We hope you enjoyed that short introduction. Now on to our next piece. Our near neighbour of Sheffield is known as Steel City, but Chesterfield could equally be known as Iron Town. Given that news, you can see why our next piece of music has been chosen. It's the theme tune to the movie Iron Man 3 by Brian Tyler, arranged for brass band by Frank Bernards. Coming back down to earth, we'd like to conclude our presentation with a piece called North Country Pastoral by Ray Stedman Allen. This piece features our solo cornet player Alex Cummings and our solo euphonium player Bronwyn Buttery. Time to settle back, watch the local scenery and enjoy North Country Pastoral. that concludes our presentation. We hope that you really enjoyed it and that you are now more aware of the wonders of Chesterfield. So take care, stay safe, hope to see you very soon.
Thank you very much. You too, stay safe. When we've been introduced to the wonders of Chesterfield there from the Island Colliery Chesterfield Brass Band, our band number 6 in the third section contest. Let's go straight to Sean Rhys-Jones. What did you think, Sean?
Yeah, as they said in their introduction, a first attempt at making these kinds of videos, and it's always quite a daunting challenge, that first
Isn't
time.
it? Yeah.
I remember when Ali over there first said, we were going to do Chitty Chitty Bang Bang over a year ago now, isn't it? And it's quite a daunting thing, and we did it with Cross Keys as well. But a great first attempt, great first 3 attempts, really. And some good choices in programme. I wasn't 100% sure on the order. I might have switched Iron Man and North Country Pastoral around. So you have the slow piece in the middle, followed by Iron Man, which is obviously a bit more upbeat. But, it's up to you what order you want to play it in. I thought the ensemble could have been a little tighter at times, starting notes together, ending notes together, things like that. But again, small points. I thought the soloists...
Alex and Bronwyn.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't quite finished writing. We're usually used to the ad breaks now. But I thought both soloists were really good. I would have liked to hear more of them, personally. Just put them up in the mix, potentially. Great sounds from the euphonium player, Bronwyn in particular, I thought. And then going beyond that, I just want to say from the video itself, I've just finished watching the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, from start to finish. I'm a massive comic book nerd.
Wow.
So it was great to see Iron Man back on screen. And in the third piece, they had dogs on the screen, and I'm obsessed with dogs, so thank you very much.
Managed to tick 2 of Sean's boxes there, Iron Man and dogs. There we are. Well, Steve, let's move to you. I mean, we were given like a kind of a history lesson on Chesterfield in that first item, weren't we? We'd heard for everything about the leper colony to the plague village to even the cucumber straighteners. I don't know if you read that one. So what did you think of all their extra musical elements that they added in? Because there was a lot in there, wasn't there?
There was. Well, first of all, I've got a fascination with the spire of Chesterfield. It's absolutely bizarre, isn't it? But it's a unique selling point that Chesterfield have got there. It's really, really good to see that in the video. It was a good opening, I thought. It was a dramatic start, had balanced band sounds. It was a nice intro. It gave us a slice of Chesterfield, I thought. Yeah, really good. And nothing too overdone, nothing too overstated. So it was a nice little opener. And like Sean said, I personally would have swapped the second and third piece around just to give us that a bigger ending, so to speak. But Iron Man 3, good to open, not quite together rhythmically in places. Just watch for the ends of phrases and coming off, the ends of bar lines to make it neater and tidier, so don't overhang. But it was a good effort, I thought. Yeah, really good effort, and good visuals as well to go with Iron Man 3. And a North Country Pastoral. I would like to have had a lot more dynamic contrast, I think, just to give it a bit more feeling, really, I think. But there were some good points in there. There was good youth and some lovely views of the North Country there in the video, which took you on a little journey, which was very nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the one angle to this contest is the regional element. And I think we all fancy a trip to Chesterfield after seeing that, don't we? Absolutely. So congratulations on your first virtual distance video performances to the Island Colliery Chesterfield Brass Band. You're getting some real thumbs up in the studio from our judges here. So good luck with the competition. And thank you very much indeed for supporting the Kapitol Cory Online Brass Band Championships. As I said before band number 6, we're going to take a short break now, so we'll be back in 15 minutes. If you want to go and make yourself a cup of tea and get yourself some cucumber sandwiches, straight cucumbers, that is, then we will be back in 15 minutes and we'll pick up the contest with band number 7. So don't go away and see you in a short while.
I'm Band Corporal Craig Sanders, and I'm a percussionist in the Band of Her Majesty's Royal Marines, Portsmouth. I joined the Royal Marines Band Service aged 16 after growing up in Essex, whilst playing in the tendering brass band in the 3rd section. Since joining the Royal Marines Band Service, I performed all over the world and performed as a soloist at our annual concerts in the Royal Albert Hall. When I joined the Royal Marines Band Service, I had no grades and just had GCSEs. But since joining, I've studied for a BMIS Honours degree, which was fully funded, and I'm currently working towards a Masters in Composition, which is part funded by the Band Service. I'm lucky that I'm still able to perform in brass bands, even when working in the Royal Marines, most recently playing with the Flowers Band at all the major contests. My hobby is now my job. There really is no other career like it.
Hi, I'm musician Emily Jowl and I'm currently in my second year at the Royal Marines School of Music. I joined in 2019, having grown up in Sheffield and played in Thurleston Brass Band, Steinington Training Band, before moving up to the first section senior band in 2013. The band service don't take ton horn, so I was accepted on French horn. It's different and it's a challenge, but I really love it. I joined the band service because of the many musical opportunities as well as sport and travel, and the chance to do a fully funded Beamer's Honours degree course in music, which I'm currently through the first year of. Once I get back out into a band, I'd love to get back into brass banding and pick up my tenor horn again. I can't wait to perform on my first MFM on a new instrument that I've come to love.
I want to know who I am, so I can let go. Let it all out. I want you to feel what I feel, so you can hear my soul sing. I want you to hear my story, so you can pass it on. I want to make waves.
I'm Band Corporal Craig Sanders, and I'm a percussionist in the Band of Her Majesty's Royal Marines, Portsmouth. I joined the Royal Marines Band Service aged 16 after growing up in Essex, where I was playing in the tendering brass band in the 3rd section. Since joining the Royal Marines Band Service, I performed all over the world and performed as a soloist at our annual concerts in the Royal Albert Hall. When I joined the Royal Marines Band Service, I had no grades and just had GCSEs. But since joining, I've studied for a BMIS Honours degree, which was fully funded, and I'm currently working towards a Masters in Composition, which is part funded by the Band Service. I'm lucky that I'm still able to perform in brass bands, even when working in the Royal Marines, most recently playing with the Flowers Band at all the major contests. My hobby is now my job. There really is no other career like it.
Welcome back to the Kapitol Cory Online Brass Band Championships. We have been listening so far this afternoon to the third section. This section is sponsored by Thurrock Marching Brass. We've heard the first 6 bands in the section, which takes us just over halfway. And we are going to kick off again with band number 7 just now. And we are going to Switzerland for band number 7 for the Musikgesellschaft Brass Band Rehetobel. The idea of the programme is to present the region where we come from and show the rest of the world what a lovely band we have. A second aim is to honour our future, the youth. So we start with a typical kind of traditional folk music named Zauerli. And you can see pictures of Rehetobel and the Appenzell. With the music of Stay There, a second piece, you get a small impression of some of our members. In the third position, you hear the Appenzeller Gemeinslied, what is comparable with the hymn of this region. The pictures are underlaid with some characteristics and words which describe who we are and what we miss during the pandemic. Last but not least, an homage to our youth with pictures of Swiss legends and the legends of the future. Our kids try to imitate them. Some pictures were painted by a member of our band, for example, the tennis player Roger Federer. Kind regards, thank you for your engagement from the conductor Benjamin Markel. This is band number 7, Musikgesellschaft Brass Band Rehetobel from Switzerland. You are very welcome, and thank you for entering our competition and giving us such a wonderful start back after our break here. Band number 7 there, the Musikgesellschaft brass band Tobel from Switzerland. Let's go straight to the judges for some instant feedback. Helen, what did you think of our Swiss friends there?
Well, I love Switzerland, and it was great to see all that imagery to start with. The bowl with was it a bell inside the bowl? Was that supposed to sound, Winnie, perhaps you know, was that supposed to sound like the cowbells or something like
Quite
that?
possibly. It did come across that way.
It was really effective, wasn't it? Really brilliant playing, good tight ensemble, everything was together, everything was in tune, just odd little moments that detracted a little tiny bit, but nothing really worth mentioning. Technique was neat and tidy all the way through, just very impressive playing, which I come to expect from the Swiss bands, definitely. I would perhaps have liked to see more of the players actually playing. That was the only thing that was really missing from the visuals. And if you could have just told us who some of those legends were, I think some may have been very specific to Switzerland. I definitely got William Tell, but I didn't get all the rest of them. So I would like to know who all those legends are and why they're so special to you.
Good points. I agree with your first point. The quality of the playing really was excellent, wasn't it? Really very, very good. And Steve, I mean, Helen's just started to refer to it there, but lots of kind of extra musical elements to that as well. The pictures and the lots of humour as well in there. What did you think?
That's actually one of the words I wrote down particularly for the second piece. Stay there. I did love it. It was really good. And I did love the humour. That's what I wrote down here. Love the humour. Tidy band sounds, I wrote. Everything in the right place. Good feel, good dynamics. Really enjoyed that second piece. The first piece was a great sort of insight into Swiss life. And it sort of got you into the Swiss mood as well, which was really good. You're going to have to help me with the title of the third piece here, Phil.
Alles Leben.
That's the one. Nice reflective video, I thought, on that. It took you on a little journey again. It was nice to see it depicting the whole organisation, and the basics were played very well, really nice indeed. And Home and Legends, a good old PLC pot boiler, good cornet to open, really nice,
wasn't it?
And nicely balanced percussion. It wasn't overdone, and good balance throughout, pretty much. I would have liked, actually, as the piece progressed, I would have liked it to have got a bit more. I want to say in your face. That's not what I'm looking for, but a bit more passionate, and the cornets needed to be stronger as well on the cornet fanfare parts. But overall, it was nice. It was very imaginative video as well. Again, I would like to have known who the legends were, but that just shows my level of education. And but no, very good. Really enjoyed it.
Excellent, yes. And one of the things I enjoyed was just the level of personality that came through in the band there. We saw all sorts of things, lots of Swiss things. Trombonist in the bath, was it? Yeah, that's probably saw a bit too much on that particular shot, but nevertheless, loads and loads to engage there in that performance. So thank you so much. Thank you very much indeed for entering our competition. Of course, the Swiss band there representing the region of Europe, and we're going to stay with Europe for our next band number 8, which is United Brass from Belgium. Their musical director is Frank van Troyen. Now, United Brass sets off with Theme Howing by composer Yves Meerschart. Frank van Troyen arranged the piece for bands specially for the present contest. And we do have a special prize for the best new music running across all sections, which is sponsored by Jonathan Bates Music. Now, this piece was originally created as the overture of a theatre show, Stan in het hoofd van Hawking, Stan in Hawking's Head, featuring the chamber ensemble Room 13 Orchestra and rock artist Stan Maurice. The band continues with De Fanfare van Honger Endorsed, the band of hunger and thirst. This song was written by Lieven Tavernier and made into a true evergreen in Flanders in a version by singer Jan de Wilde. It's a song about friendship, loss, life and hope. The original song is a slow waltz. Yves Meerschart and Frank Van Troyen wrote their arrangement for the present occasion, significantly accelerating the tempo to give it a pulsating drive. The vocals are taken on by conductor Frank himself. Then the band is ending its programme with Christopher Holding's sparkling Hollywood finale. The British composer and trombone player originally composed it as part of a 20-minute varied entertainment programme entitled American Salute. It also exists in versions for full symphony orchestra and symphonic brass ensemble. It's intended as a short commercial-style tribute to a typical night at the movies. Here we are then with the programme of band number 8 from Belgium. It's United Brass.
waren met zessen, we kwamen van nergens, gingen nergens naartoe. Van op de terrassen, in de koffiehuizen, bekeken we de mensen en hun drukke gedoe. We liepen met ons hoofd in de wolken en werden dan wakker met honger en dorst. En iedereen riep, kijk daar loopt de fanfare van honger en dorst. De fanfare van honger en dorst. We hadden geen geld om eten te kopen, maar we wisten voor alles het beste adres. Mosselen bij Leentje en fritten bij Helga, en Annie bewaarde voor ons wel een fles. En iedere nacht nog net voor het slapen, de laatste 5 frank in Eddie's jukebox. The hard rain's gonna fall, we zongen allemaal samen, met de fanfare van honger en dorst. De fanfare van honger en dorst. Er kwam er een vrouw die een van ons meenam, dan namen we afscheid en zegden vaarwel. De fanfare trok verder met minder leden, de toon in meneur, we begrepen dat wel. Maar er was nooit een vrouw die mooier kon zingen dan onze fanfare van honger en dorst. En het duurde nooit lang of we waren weer samen met de fanfare van honger en dorst. De fanfare van honger en dorst. Wie van ons had ooit durven denken dat iedereen van ons voorgoed weg zou gaan? We hebben toen zelf de fanfare ontbonden, we hebben als iedereen de prijs waar betaald. De prijs voor de vrijheid in ruil voor wat centen, een baan bij een bank, een auto, een kind. Maar ergens in de stad zingt een nieuwe fanfare van honger en dorst. Een nieuwe fanfare van honger en dorst.
Wow, what have we just seen there from United Brass from Belgium? That was a definite wow moment there. Let's see what the judges thought. We go straight to Helen Williams. What did you think, Helen?
I'm still picking my jaw up off the floor. Amazing presentation. So much time and thought has gone into the whole of that presentation, from all the visuals to what must be the preparation to record. They've obviously rehearsed. I don't know whether they can rehearse in person or whether they're rehearsing using Zoom like a lot of us are doing at the moment. But yeah, the precision and everything that went to put all of that together was just absolutely spot on. Impressive animation at the beginning, the sound, bass sounds, tight ensemble I've written, dynamics, tick, and I've just written clever for it because that's just what it was. The recording quality was almost like a studio recording.
Wasn't it? It was outstanding.
Yeah, exceptionally good. As I say, it's the obvious thought that has gone into producing all of that, making it all hang together and making the entire 10 minutes work as a presentation to show us their band.
And again, I like the previous band really. I found it very kind of personal and full of characters. Like the second number about hunger and thirst. I mean, that had characteristic humour throughout, didn't it?
Absolutely, we all recognise all of those things, and we were watching the words go past at the bottom, so we understood everything that was happening in there. Yes, a band full of characters, and they did a brilliant job of showing it off to us.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Sean. What did you think?
I thought it was absolutely outstanding. I found myself struggling to find things to write because I was just sitting there enjoying the performance.
You can write good things,
Well, that goes without saying. But, I wrote ensemble, brilliant, tuning, fantastic presentation, innovative. I thought that first piece was almost like an animation feature film. I was just absolutely blown away by it. Someone's gone to a lot of hard work there.
Yeah, I thought the music itself on its own was very kind of engaging and captivating, wasn't it? But with the addition of everything else, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And then the second piece, I really enjoyed the piano and vocals on top of the band. For me, the only thing I would have said about the performance, really, I would have liked more band in the mix there. It felt very dominated by the vocal and piano, and then the band was sort of there in the background. But I would have quite liked a bit more band. Lots of lovely Belgian beers on show as well, which I was very much enjoying. I'm usually watching this live stream with a glass of Belgian beer, so this is a bit different. And then the last piece, a bit more basic in the editing than that previous two, but I quite liked it. It got us a chance to see all the members on screen and gave them a chance to shine as well. So overall, fantastic.
Yes, more of a traditional approach, that last piece, wasn't it? But still, that quality of sound was maintained, wasn't it?
Absolutely. The quality of sound was superb. And a very young conductor as well on show. I think the conductor's got... look out back for himself, hasn't he? That young guy's coming up.
I think so, yeah. So someone coming through the ranks pretty quickly by the look of it. Well, I think it's safe to say, United Brass, that the judges are all united in their praise for your performance. Thank you so much for your support of this competition, and what a performance. That was band number 8 in the competition. We're going to hear band number 9 in a moment's time, but before then, we're going to take a quick commercial break, so don't go away, we'll be back soon.
Good morning and welcome to your virtual Look at Life course with the Royal Marines Band Service.
Welcome back to the Kapitol Cory Online Brass Band Championships. You are listening to the third section, which is sponsored by Thurrock Marching Brass. And wow, the competition has really caught fire in the last few bands. I hope you're enjoying the competition so far. We're on band number 9 now, and this is Littleport Brass, who are from the London and Southern Counties area of the UK, with their musical director, Ian Napton. Now, Littleport Brass has been entertaining the public since around 1880, and today has a mix of young and old who, when lockdown allows, will be meeting once again to rehearse in our own band room behind the village ex-servicemen's club. We'd like to thank the former Right Worshipful Mayor of Ely, Michael Rouse, and Reverend Lynn Gibb de Swarte for their input into the programme, along with a special mention to MD Ian Napton for putting this all together, and a big thank you to him for all the hard work he's done throughout this pandemic, hosting various quizzes, murder mysteries, race nights, rehearsals, and lots more. On the 3rd of April, the people of Littleport will welcome the television world to our great village and surrounding areas when the 166th men's and the 75th women's Oxford-Cambridge boat races take place, starting in Ely and finishing at Littleport. With this taking place, we thought we would look at the history of our village and highlight some of the local ties it has. Sit back and let Littleport Brass take you on a journey to our village. This is band number 9.
Welcome to Littleport, the largest village in Cambridgeshire, just north of the cathedral city of Ely. Let Littleport Band take you on a journey through some of the history of this fenland village. When gazing over Littleport, it is hard to imagine that such a tranquil vista was a focal point of some of the rural riots that swept East Anglia in 1816, leading to dreadful retribution. The end of the Napoleonic Wars, unemployment, and a failed harvest led to many families being at the point of starvation and unable to afford the price of bread. Trouble spread across the region, and on the 22nd of May 1816 reached Littleport. It was after a meeting of the Littleport Benefit Club at the Globe Inn that a group of residents, probably fueled by drink, decided to take action to demand 2 shillings a day and flour to be sold at a price they could afford. They went on the rampage, targeting in particular the vicar, the Reverend Fashel, and local landowner Henry Martin, who was overseer of the poor. There was damage to property, some looting, and demanding of money. The next day, they decided to take their demands to the magistrates in Ely. Seizing a farm wagon, they mounted a punt gun on it, and armed with pitchforks and various farm implements, they marched on Ely 4 miles away. The rioters were met by the magistrates, who agreed to their demands, but they refused to return home, and after some celebratory drinking, they were joined by some Ely troublemakers in more damage and demands for money, before eventually going back to Littleport. Action from the Bishop of Ely and the authorities was swift, with hardened cavalry troopers from Bury St Edmunds, the Royston Troop of Volunteer Cavalry, local militia, magistrates and constables marching on Littleport and rounding up the rioters, shooting 1 dead, while 1 trooper was wounded. After a trial in Ely, several rioters were transported, others imprisoned, and on the 28th of June, 1816, 5 Littleport men were hanged at Ely. Let their awful fate be a warning to others.
The fens of East Anglia are magic. They mean flatlands, farming and sky, lots of sky and weather. And in spring there's planting, nurturing through summer and harvesting in autumn. But come the winter, then the fen folk get their skates on when the washes and shallow flooded fields freeze over. And all the fun and games of bandy and races over the ice have been the order of the day for 400 years. You'll see some champions on here, speed skaters and bandy players from times gone by. But now the waters freeze less often of a winter, so plans are afoot to emplace a refrigerated ice pad big enough to race on, play bandy games, and for everyone and their dog to enjoy themselves in the traditional way of the fens.
crisp spring morning on the 2nd of May 1835, a baby boy was born on Victoria Street and named William Harley. William lived in Littleport for over 20 years, and in 1859, William emigrated to America with his wife, Mary, and in December 1880, they had a son and christened him William Sylvester Harley. William would grow up, and in 1903, he was the co-founder of Harley Davidson.
Visiting Littleport sounds like an excellent idea to me. Another very imaginative production there. Let's go to Sean first of all. I mean, the first thing I want to ask you is about guitar, because one of the great features of Cross Keys' performance was yourself playing the guitar. So it's great to see another fellow guitarist in the competition, don't you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. I was just writing at the bottom there. I'm a guitar player myself, and we did it with the Cross Keys band. I really enjoy the combination of guitar and brass band, I'm not going to lie. I think it works really well. And one of the points I made was I would have loved to have seen it throughout the whole piece. I worked backwards, so that Highway to Hell that we finished with there, I thought the editing was great with the fire at the bottom, the Highway to Hell. I just think I would have really liked the guitar to go all the way through, because it just seemed a little bit tame, the performance. It was a bit safe. So having that guitar through it would have just given it a bit more like distorted guitar sound. I thought the second piece, The Lake of Tenderness by Ben Hollings, beautiful piece of music straight off the bat. It's one of my favourites at the minute. And I thought the band played it really, really well. I enjoyed the images of the skaters as well throughout the whole thing. For me, I would have liked to have seen the band on as well. I think the band just weren't there, were they? I didn't see them. I was writing a lot though.
Some of the sort of old footage is very interesting to see, isn't it? You've got to try and get the balance right. I mean, that footage was particularly interesting to see the ice skating around with like no attempt at health and safety whatsoever. just going at 90 miles an hour, about 5 centimetres from the general public. But yeah, getting the balance right is definitely something to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you wouldn't get away with health and safety these days. You're 100% right there. And then the first piece, and then talking about the overall of it as well, I thought the tuning and the ensemble was very good throughout the performance. Avril, the cornet player right at the beginning there, I thought she, fantastic player.
Excellent, yeah.
Great sound, great tone, and very sensitive playing, great use of rubato. For me as well, I know there's narration in two of the pieces, or the beginning of the second piece and throughout the first. Maybe just a bit too much narration for my liking. But yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's just remind our viewers that there are many, many special prizes available to all the bands here. So hopefully some of the excellent examples of great playing we've seen can be rewarded in some of these special prizes. Who knows? Let's go to Steve Jones now and ask what you thought of Littleport. Another band that made a great effort to present their local region and local area to us, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought you did a good job of it as well. First piece was lovely. And again, as I said, the cornet solo was really, really lovely indeed. Nice touches. And into my predictor, Riot. And I agree with Sean. It was an interesting story, but I would like to have heard more of the band because I couldn't really pick up on what was going on underneath the narration, as good as it was. So I'd like to have heard a bit more of the band there. And the Lake of Tenderness, this was really nice, I thought. I loved the voiceover. It was quite ethereal, I thought. But there was some nice sonorous band sounds underneath, good phrasing as well. And it fitted very well with the video, I thought. It was... I was having a little moment like you had, and I was getting a bit emotional with the old footage. I love stuff like that. It's really good to see, isn't it? And it, as I say, it fitted well with the video. And then the conclusion to the story with Highway to Hell, it was a bit more like Highway to Heaven, though. It was a bit too nice for me. I was expecting a bit more of the old leather jackets and, really getting in there. But it was. I think it was when the drums came in, I thought they were a bit too thin in the mix, and it needed to be a bit more punchier. And a bit more weight to it already.
That's obviously about as edgy as it gets in Littleport.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely right. It was obviously a nice place to live.
Indeed, yes, absolutely. Too nice, you were saying in that last piece. Yeah, great. Okay, well, thank you very much indeed to our judges for your comments on Littleport Brass. That was band number 9 in the competition. We've got 2 bands left to go. So before we dive into those, we're going to take a short commercial break, and we will be back with you in just a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Kapitol Cory Online Brass Band Championships. You are listening to the third section, which is sponsored by our friends at Thurrock Marching Brass. Now, we have 2 bands left to go. So band number 10 is the Weymouth Concert Brass from the southwest region of the UK, and their musical director is Helen Brind. Hello, they say, from Weymouth in Dorset, where Weymouth Concert Brass has been actively entertaining the community for 35 years. Until this last difficult year when so many music groups around the world have had to deal with the loss of their regular meetings. The crisis has highlighted the great strength of camaraderie between us and our shared love of music. So our choice for our first video was unanimous, a 1964 classic by Burke, Wexler and Burns, covered famously in the 1980 film The Blues Brothers. We all agreed, everybody needs somebody. In our second video, tongue-in-cheek, we reflect on the restrictions of the past year in our representation of Elmer Bernstein's title score for the film The Great Escape. You will notice numerous references to this classic story, and we hope we show here the big part that humour has played for the band's morale during this current crisis. So, what is our inspiration for this escape? Well, our third video shares with you the beautiful area of the Jurassic Coast here in Dorset, that we long to be free to explore again with family and friends. We take you to freedom beyond the sea. Here we are, band number 10, Weymouth Concert Brass.
Well done.
Welcome back to the Kapitol Cory Online Brass Band Championships. You're listening to the third section, and we've just been entertained there by band number 10, Weymouth Concert Brass, which has definitely put a smile on the face of the judges here in the studio. Let's go to Steve Jones first of all. What did you think?
Well done, Weymouth. That was really good. Really good, yeah. First piece, Everybody Loves... Everybody Needs Somebody, sorry. Tight start, yeah, really good, and this continued actually throughout the whole programme. I think it was a really good start. Nice to see everyone having fun, and what I noticed in this piece was there were some really great inner rhythmic sections in the inner band, which really paid dividends, and it held the whole thing together really nicely.
The editing did seem to be very, very good, didn't it?
Yeah, very good indeed. I like that. Good drums as well. Very good indeed. Not overdone, so well done. And you all paid attention to the click, or whether it was that, or whether it was partly that and partly the editing, I don't know, but it just sounded very, very together. And then we had The Great Escape, some really good humour in this. A strong start. They say brass bands don't do comedy. It was really good, really good. And it was a great, we were discussing actually while the video was on, weren't we, what a great visual link it was into Beyond the Sea. Really nicely done that. But again, nice tempo, good feel, and it really brought, for me, the feel-good factor to the whole contest. That was what I wrote here. But it was just tight all the way through, good humour, which is what we need in this day and age at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So remember those three criteria for the judges: quality of performance, programme and presentation. I mean, Weymouth obviously had those in spades, in Steve's opinion. Let's ask Helen what she thought of Weymouth Concert Brass.
I thought it was a really imaginative programme that definitely put a smile on your face. Right from the get-go, we met all the band straight away. We could see the band was full of characters, lots of unique characters. We saw inside everybody's houses, inside some of the rooms we perhaps shouldn't have seen inside as well. And it was all combined with that good tight playing that Steve was talking about just then. I thought that the percussion and the guitar and the double bass just really added to it. And I think it probably kept all the band on the straight and narrow. They couldn't diverge from the tempo at all. It was real neat and tidy ensemble playing. The Great Escape, I mean, we all recognise all those things. It felt a little bit like that today, actually, coming from home to somewhere different. I don't do that very often these days. And brass bands must be so brilliant that they even attract double bass players, guitar players, flautists, violinists. They were all creeping in there, weren't they? So, we must be really cool. I like that.
There was a lot going on there, wasn't there? And Sean, just to come to you briefly, you're a Great Escape fan, aren't you?
Yeah, massive Great Escape fan.
So you liked some of the parallels which the band drew?
Yeah, Great Escape is actually one of my favourite films. I remember growing up, my dad made me watch it, and I used to think, it's just this old film, I'm not going to like this. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I bought the DVD, and I used to watch it like twice a day at one stage. And even things like the credits, which were in the style of the film credits, it was incredible. Absolute attention to detail was phenomenal.
That's it, the attention to detail. I think we all appreciated in Weymouth's performance there the amount of planning that had gone into it and the attention to detail in that planning, and then the delivery of it, obviously, is as our judges have described there. So congratulations, well done to Weymouth Concert Brass, our penultimate band here in the third section, which means we only have one band left to play. So it'll be the last band, and it's band number 11, the Towcester Studio Band from Northamptonshire in England, and their musical director, Mr. Peter Wayne. Now, before I go into describe their programme, you've probably seen that one of our major partners for this particular event is the Royal Marines, and the Royal Marines tell us that currently a band musician in the Royal Marines Band Service, Alex Williams, actually used to play with the Towcester Studio Band. He's a trombone player, and his sister still plays in the Towcester Studio Band. So just to give you a little example of where some of these Royal Marines professional musicians actually come from. Now, the Towcester Studio Band is based in the south of Northamptonshire and is located on the famous Roman road, the Watling Street. The county's history includes boot and shoe manufacture, brewing, horse racing, motorsports, and of course, music making. The band was founded in 1910 and during the war years loaned its instruments to the RAF based at Silverstone Aerodrome. The airfield was later converted into the world-famous motor racing circuit, which is where the band starts its programme. Their programme is entitled A Musical Mystery Tour of Northamptonshire and will take you on a journey of 4 separate locations. Their final piece is a tribute to world-famous composer Sir Malcolm Arnold, who was born into a shoemaking family in the county town of Northampton. This is the final band in the third section, the Towcester Studio Band.
Following our lap of Silverstone, we arrive in Northampton, birthplace of the composer Sir Malcolm Arnold and home of Northampton Town Football Club, affectionately known as the Cobblers because of the rich boot and shoemaking heritage of the town. Our second piece is March of the Cobblers. Come on, you cobblers! Our next stop is Althorpe House, the childhood home and final resting place of Princess Diana. In January, our band lost a friend and our principal euphonium player, Dr. John Mudway. After a short COVID illness, John was taken from us all far too young, and we dedicate Candle in the Wind to his memory. Our journey ends at our band room here in Towcester, and our final piece pays tribute to world-renowned composer Sir Malcolm Arnold. After the challenges of the last year, it's all aboard the Padstow lifeboat.
Who knew, Chris? 50 years with the band and they throw a bucket of water over you. That's worth waiting for, isn't it? And that was our last band here in the third section contest this afternoon. Towcester Studio Band, you know, what a contrasting programme there. Lots of fun, but also the poignant tribute to Dr. John Anthony Mudway in the central position of the programme. They're bringing home the reality of the pandemic to all of us. Let's go straight to the judges. Helen, what did you think of Towcester's programme?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really imaginative, and it did show us lots of things that the area has got to offer. I thought it was brilliant with the Formula One track, with the music. Even I recognised that. I'm just not into sport at all, but I recognised what it was. The band played, it was with good balance, the tuning was great as well. And then March of the Cobblers, I love a good march.
It's great, that one, isn't it?
It was just in the right style, wasn't it? Neat and tidy. I wasn't too sure if the dynamics were achieved just by turning a knob down and up again. It is a possibility. And then, obviously, all the different shoes that were on show. Now, I'm a little bit concerned about who was wearing the silver platform boots. There were some very strange shoes on show. I'm assuming you don't all go to band wearing those kind of footwear.
Very good. Yeah. Assuming.
Oh yeah, well, there we go. Little joke.
Really.
Thank you very much.
And then, of course, the Candle in the Wind was a beautiful tribute. The music just flowed throughout, and a big shout out to the vibe player, who I thought contributed a great deal to that piece. And then Padstow Lifeboat, bravo. Mark on SOP, that was great. Bravo to the middle of the band, who managed to do the lifeboat horn in tune, but loud, which is not an easy thing to achieve. I've heard some dreadful versions of that in the past before.
What do you imagine the neighbours' reactions were when they were recording those parts individually at home? Just play a middle B as loud as you possibly can.
Interesting. I've been sitting next to some very, very loud baritone players in the past on that piece. So yes, definitely will have registered with the neighbours when that was being recorded, I'm sure. It's a difficult piece, that. It's really difficult, and it's really tiring as well. So I thought the band did really well to pull that off.
Excellent. Thank you for your comments. So what about you, Sean? What did you think of Towcester?
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything Helen just said. I thought the tuning and the ensemble in general was really tight. The tuning was good. I really enjoyed the editing the whole way through. I thought it was great. The trombone right in the first piece, I really, really enjoyed that. I'm sure it was clocking around 200 kilometres per hour, I think. I saw it on the top right. So yeah, some great trombone playing on the show there. Then I enjoyed March of the Cobblers, some questionable footwear. And then Candle of the Wind. I'm sure John will be very honoured with that, Dr. John. It was a very touching piece of music. And then Padstow Lifeboat, Mark on soprano cornet, bravo again. Some great playing on soprano. Not the easiest instrument and not the easiest solo, so well done. And could hardly tell that the boat at the end was edited. I'm not sure what gave it away for me, but just about could tell it was edited.
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much indeed for your comments there, adjudicators. And in fact, that brings the contest to an end. And I would say, I'm glad I'm not judging. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Steve, how have you found the entire contest and how are you finding your decision making?
It's difficult, same as last time. It's very, very difficult to peel the bands apart, really. So I'm going to have a good, long, hard think about it after we've come off air.
Yeah. Helen, how did you find that to judge?
Yeah, there's an awful lot to think about. Lots of things to take into consideration, but hats off to all of you for entering the contest and putting so much time and effort into keeping your presence alive in the brass banding world whilst we're all struggling.
Yeah, all 11 bands have really contributed massively to this being the contest that it has been. And you've got, as you highlighted earlier, Helen, you've got you've got distance videos to compare against live performance videos, and everything else in between. So a difficult one. And Sean, you're in the adjudicator's chair for the first time. So how has it been for you?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. The standard today has been outstanding. Really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed every competition so far. Looking forward to the championship later as well. Hopefully it won't be last time in the adjudicator seat.
No, I'm sure it won't. Well, that's it then for the third section. We're going to leave adjudicators to go and make their deliberations. You will be able to find out the results of this contest and all of the other contests in the series starting from about 9 o'clock tomorrow night. That's Sunday the 28th of March. It's been a fantastic contest here with 11 bands. Congratulations and thank you again to all the bands which entered. Thank you to contributing to the live chat on YouTube, those of you that have been doing that. We are going to turn the stream off now, but we'll turn it back on again just before the championship section kicks off at 6 p.m. tonight. So you've just got a chance to go and make your dinner, whatever you're having. But make sure that you're back in your seats again in good time for part one of the World of Brass Championship section, which is part of the Kapitol Cory Online Brass Band Championships. For now, thanks for watching the third section and see you later on this evening for the championship section. Goodbye.